22 at St Albans, partly blocked at the moment, got a breakdown causing a few delays as a result. In Worksop in Nottinghamshire, southbound A1 remains closed, long delays due to accident investigation work. And in Cheshire, the southbound M6, there's a lane closed and delays. It's due to a breakdown between junction 17 at Sandbach and junction 16 at Stoke-on-Trent. I'm Gary King.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stelling. We have a stocking crammed full of festive football.
In moments of magic!
It's the Festive 50.
I don't believe it!
50 massive games across December on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
We're going to turn to the world of sumo now, Andy.
Yes.
And next year, for the first time, I think, in how many years? 34 years, going to be an official sumo tournament held outside Japan. It's going to be at the Royal Albert Hall, of course, in London. And there's expected to be an awful lot of interest in it, maybe a bit more participation in the sport, which is music to the ears of a sumo wrestler and coach. Mandeep Singh Kundi joins us now. Hi, Mandeep.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, we're good, thank you. Yeah, I was reading a very interesting piece in the Times, sort of telling your story. So, how excited are you for this arrival of all the Japanese greats next year?
Oh, very excited. It's once in a lifetime of an opportunity. So I really encourage other people to get to know a little bit about it and see if they can get a ticket when they go on sale as well.
What was your route into the sport then, Mandeep?
I think, like most people of my generation, seeing it on TV, terrestrial TV, being fascinated by the whole sort of allure of it, and then wondering at a certain age if there's a following of the sport in the UK, and finding there is, and just getting involved.
That period that you talk about, I loved it too on Channel 4. That was a great period for sumo. Over the years, we've spoken to people in Japan. It suffered a bit, hasn't it, in popularity?
It has, and it's not. It's just, I think, about perspective. It's a sport like many where it's easy to learn but tough to master. And there's certain aspects of it, obviously, that have not gone down well. No sports without controversy. But on the flip side, there's been a lot of growth and development in amateur sumo, at least, where it's in over 80 countries.
Yeah, I think that's the Japanese problem with it, is that non-Japanese people started winning the big tournaments.
A lot of Mongolian fighters and stuff, didn't they, were winning it. And, that's that. But, I mean, I think the Japanese fighters are kind of are back again, aren't they? But from a British point of view, what are the sort of attributes, if someone would like to get involved in, what are the attributes that they should have if they want to sumo wrestle then, Mandeep?
Well, I've got just an 8-year know-how, so I credit what I do to my coach, but from learning from him and fellow wrestlers, I would say it's about being grounded. Good
legs. You need good legs. Do strong legs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes. In terms of sort of muscle groups, 100%, it's your legs, but it's also about your hips. It's also not just about brute strength. It's about balance.
What about the diet?
So a number of factors at play.
Sorry about that. What about the diet that you have to do? I mean, we saw a lot of documentaries where the young sumos had to eat this stew that made them put on weight.
Yeah. Have you ever? What is that stew called, Manny? Have you ever boiled one up?
Yes, I've had it here and in Japan also. It's called chanko nabe, and it's quite a healthy broth. But what they do is they eat what they do to fuel the training that they do. And I think the weight actually is gained when they sleep straight after, which increases the girth around your waistline because you're slowing down your metabolism. And what you're doing in that is trying to develop and maintain then a lower center of gravity. So there is a theory to the madness.
One of the other controversies has been around the tough life that often the young sumo apprentices have when they're working with the top fighters. But I read that your son competes. He's only 9 at the moment. You've got him into it. And you wouldn't be averse to him maybe going over to Japan to study and fight. But would that at all concern you, that sort of controversy around the young fighters?
No, not at all. I think it's about your values. You teach kids good values, and they can sort of look after themselves. But it's not as some narratives are. I think you are allowed to go there and support your children if they wanted to have a go. But yes, professional sumo is tough. I've wrestled in professional stables there as well, as they're called. But in terms of the amateur scene, that's very exciting, because that means you can, of course, wrestle in Japan, but you can wrestle anywhere else as well.
Yeah. Are there kind of other European strongholds in other parts? I know I said recently you were in Switzerland wrestling. So what other parts of the world have been producing good sumo wrestlers?
Oh, there's so many. There is Poland, which is currently the sort of base of Europe. There is Switzerland, Norway, Germany, Bulgaria. I'm probably going to get a bit of stick from friends from countries that I've not mentioned. But there's many. There's France also, where I'm scheduled to be wrestling in March this year. No, next year on.
Okay. And if people want to get into it and give it a try themselves, there is the British Sumo Federation, isn't there? They can get in touch with, and they can find out where they can just try it out if they think they've got the attributes to give it a go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go and check that out. We've spoken to the guys from the British Sumo Federation in the past, so it's just online. And so when's your next fight, Mandy?
It's in March.
Can people come along and watch?
Oh, sorry. So that's actually in France.
All right.
So they're welcome there. But in terms of the next fight here, that's more than likely to be in May, the British Championships. And then we're hoping to host a tournament in London just ahead of the Pro Sumo Tour. That's on Sunday, the 12th of October, in one of the universities.
Oh, excellent. Just a quick one, women's sumo. I mean, what's the scene like there? Is that sort of buoyant as well?
Yes, it's more apparent in other countries. We're trying to raise awareness and encourage that in the UK.
It's not allowed in Japan, is it?
No, in professional sumo it is not, but in amateur sumo it is.
Right. Okay. Well, there we are.
And there's also weight classes and no age restriction. So that's another point of inclusivity that I would like to highlight.
Excellent. Well, look, it's been good to talk to you, Mandeep. Keep it up. Thanks very much for joining us.
Amazing. Thank you for having me.
Mandeep Singh Kundi there, British sumo wrestler. Look out for his lad, Ash, who's 9, who could be rocking up in Japan at some point.
He's like Konashiki, the dump truck. He was tremendous.
Yes. You forget that Channel 4 did show it, didn't they, on a pretty regular basis. Yeah, it was a big deal, wasn't it, back in the day?
I got into trouble with the head of Channel 4 Sport because of sumo.
Why is that?
Because basically I was doing a sports bulletin and it was announced that they were going to do sumo. Yeah. And I said that they'd end up dropping Italian football, which they actually did in the end.
Wow.
And I put I paint boxed Gazza's head on sumo body. It's a new competitor. He was upset because I said that Italian football, they were doing it instead of Italian football, which turned out to be exactly what they did do.
Right.
He never rang me to apologise, of course.
Okay, well, look, it's always time, Andy. It's that time of year, maybe.
Knowing the sort of bloke he was, I don't think he will be.
Okay, fair enough. Still better. Andy Jacobs.
Yes.
We asked you for your live news, live sports news updates. There's no live sport on this afternoon. Not a lot, anyway. This has just come in from somebody. National Youth Cup half-time, Bridlington Town under-19s won. Bolton Wanderers under-19s won. Tremendous. So there we are, just some of the live sport. Another update from Sri Lanka, the T10. Candy Bolts now 120 for 4 in their 10 overs. So thank you for all of that.
That's a good score.
We got some great pulling a sickie in sports stories to come. And we'll bring you those in the next hour, amongst other things. Tim Vickery going to be joining us. Kieran Maguire will look at some of the finances around Mikhailo Mudryk, if he is potentially banned for that failed drugs test. But we'll chat, Kieran, about that in the next hour.